Monday afternoon. How you making it? Oh my gosh, I had a long walk with my husband. My hair's back in a bun because the wind, it was getting big. So I collapsed it into a bun so I can have it down tonight because my hubby loves my hair down. So I'm going to do that with him. Listen, I've got an Iraqi dinar update for you today. I'm very excited to bring this to you. And I'm very excited and very grateful that I got a chance to talk to Kathy. Kathy, I loved our conversation. Thanks for talking with me even extra today, guys. Sometimes when you do a Financial Ninja appointment with me, if I have extra time, we can talk through some of the stuff so we can get each other's opinions of what's going on. It's a beautiful night. Oh, I don't think you see the light there. The river looks stunning. I was trying to have it in the background, but it ain't working. Whatever. So here's the update. Okay, first of all, TNT had a call today. They do their calls Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And I listened to the intel portion, and this is what they said. Iraq has eliminated 7 banks because of corruption, and evidently the USA has eliminated 14 banks. That's 21 banks. I don't know which ones they are, but Iraqi citizens right now are not trying to get any more new dollars because now they think a new rate is coming. So that is good news. They're de-dollarizing, as we said before. That's one of the reasons why they stopped the auctions, etc. So now Mark Z had some good news. It says Redemption Center folks did not work over the holiday weekend, waiting today for the latest update for them from today. Mark Z said, today is the usual Monday morning doldrums on the news, but I should have a good bit for you tonight. He said his contacts were very quiet over the weekend. And somebody asked about the Central Bank of Iraq. Could it be waiting for a go signal on the release, like an event driven? Because a lot of people have said that this is event driven. We're waiting for a big event for this to be released while everybody's focused over there. If they could release this, which however it happens, I don't care. I'll receive it. How about you? Comment down below. Are you just ready to just get liquid? I am. Mark Z said, unfortunately, those are the bad guys at the World Economic Forum. They are pushing hard to get their way, but I do not believe they are going to win. Their central bank digital coins is not backed by anything like the fiat, and they would have control of everybody. This is my biggest fear, but I don't fear anything. I cast it all on God, but God promised me that we would reign as kings and queens during this time, and so that's how this is going to happen. CBDCs, the mod said CBDCs are part of the bad guys reset, not the same as our quantum financial system reset, right? The quantum financial system is the one we want. That's the good one. There's a bad one and a good one. They mirror everything we do. Think mirror, right? What's interesting is, let me get down to Mike Z. He said there sure were a lot of signs during Trump's administration that they started absorbing the Fed into the United States Treasury, including articles and comments on mainstream media. I think it is a constant war until we cross the finish line. And then Mark said, Nader just posted a video this morning similar to what I told you on Saturday. Make sure you watch the video, support him in his link on YouTube. That's what Mark is saying. And yeah, watch Nader's video if you want. I didn't watch it yet. I didn't have time. They are telling us things are moving forward quickly. The budget presented but not yet passed. The rate has not been addressed yet, but mechanisms are done and it's up to the banks now. And also, Mark Z said, so RV there yet? Asking about in Iraq. Do you think we'll see this before Christmas? And Mark Z said, yes, I do, but nobody knows the timing. I am surprised we have not already crossed the finish line. Me too, because God told me it was done. But then he said, I can tell you there's a massive push right now for Wednesday of this week. And that is from all of his contacts. Again, my Lord, my God, my King has been saying it's now. It's done. So... And guess what I saw today? I'm going to share with you. I'll share this after. Remind me to share you the sign of God's timing. Why is this year different from any other year we thought it was going to go? Mark Z said there are huge differences this year. Then where we were any previous year economically all around the world, BRICS had not yet gotten this far along. Iraq is now in open conversations to join BRICS, along with the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Dubai. This is very different from any time in the past. Germany is looking like they are going to join BRICS too. Zimbabwe is joining BRICS. There's a lot of people joining BRICS, which is what breaks the petrodollar, which breaks that bad resets back. That's what's collapsing it, guys. That's what's collapsing that global Bad reset agenda. Okay. People are talking about Zimbabwe on here about them wanting to join BRICS. And Mark says at some point, I believe they will have to. In his opinion, IMO on Mark Z said, BRICS is very quickly going to be replacing the UN. The UN is broken and corrupt. So, Mark Z, I do not think the QFS is in charge yet, or we would already have the reset and our announcement. I'm agreeing with him. I've been saying this by looking at my banking transactions. And the member said he means that the QFS is running parallel to the current SWIFT system and could be switched over at any time, in my opinion, and to me that makes sense. And Mark C said, I absolutely believe is it running alongside the SWIFT, parallel and monitoring, ready to take over. Like if you are building a new house, it's ready, it's built, now you have to move into it. Everybody's like excited. I was asked, and then he said, yeehaw, pray and your contacts in Reno are spot on. Mark said, this is from the top lawyer in Zurich. And then another member was saying, I work at the IRESS. Oh, the EYE, the IR. I have not seen anything regarding an announcement. Years past, we would hear any announcement via MSN before something is released internally. Come on, everybody's looking for this, right? Mark C, my sources said they are expecting something today. We shall see. Hopefully something will pop and you can report it to us. Now, he's probably going to be talking tonight sometime. So tune in to Mark. I highly support you listening to him as well, because he is an intel guy and he's got contacts. I just do the summaries. I do the summaries of everybody else's intel, but I get my intel in the morning, and that's why I go live, answer your faith and financial questions. I get my intel from the King of Kings, okay? So I keep looking because my husband is at the store, so I'm trying to get this done. The Dow start down at negative 250. Everybody's praying that it's time. I prayed with my Ninja. I pray with everybody that the RV is now, just so you know, and I'm praying for all you guys, all my new subscribers. Welcome to the family. This is my dinar update that I usually do in the afternoon, because that's usually when some of the intel has come in on a Monday. Mark has a special guest with an EE system today at the end. Listen to the replay for this information. Yeah. Okay, Frank 26. New analysis and discussion. New analysis. Experts, U.S. sanctions against 14 Iraq banks accused of money laundering, reduced dollar sales at the currency auction. That's all good news. We just talked about that. Or did he say, I don't know. I'm getting different things between Tony and Frank 26. Numerical data on currency sales to the Central Bank of Iraq showed the extent of the decline in it during the month of November, which sometimes reached less than $100 million per day after it used to exceed $250 million per day, most of which goes in the form of external transfers. Economist Nabil Al-Marzami said in an interview with some news agency, the U.S. sanctions that it placed on 14 Iraq banks on the blacklist as a result of their smuggling of dollars and their money laundering in process, which was stopped by the Central Bank of Iraq after it was entering the window for selling foreign currencies, behind the decrease in the central bank sales of dollars. He added, the decline is not related to the general economic situation and is not related to the general budget, but it is related to the sanctions the U.S. federal bank by issuing orders and instructions to the Central Bank of Iraq not to deal with these private banks. He pointed out that the lack of sales led to a scarcity in the supply of U.S. dollars to the Iraqi market. Guys, that is good news. Pointing out that the price of the parallel dollar began to approach 1,500 dinars against $1. It is noteworthy that the central bank sells the dollar in an auction that it organizes daily to banks and mediation companies in order to finance foreign trade and finance the internal market in dollars. But many economists and politicians have indicated corruption in the central bank's sales by smuggling hard currency abroad without finding solutions for that. Al-Sudani announces the recovery of 182 billion dinars from tax secretaries, I think they probably mispronounced that. The Iraqi Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani announced on Sunday the recovery of 182 billion Iraqi dinars as part of the stolen tax secretariats, which was known as the theft of the century. Wow. Al-Sudani said in a press conference followed by Shafak news agency that the competent authorities managed to recover the first batch of more than 182 billion dinars and that investigative committees were formed to audit the instruments dispersed from the tax secretariats. I believe in audits. I used to be one. Love that. Love to hear that. He added the investigation committee pointed out the violations and negligence in facilitating the seizure of trust funds, and there are bodies within the tax authority and other supervisory and responsible parties that facilitated the theft of trust, pledging to announce the parties that facilitated the theft of trust after completing the investigations. And the Prime Minister continued, we will not exclude any party involved in the theft of safe deposits. And there are investigative committees that have reached a conclusion that 114 checks have been paid to the accused with a total amount of more than $1 trillion. Al-Sudani pointed out that the managing director of the Badia Al-Mazar company is called the Abdul whatever, and its accused owner, another name, pointing out that 66 checks have been dispersed for a total amount of 982 billion dinars to the humpback whale company, to its fugitive managing director and its accused owner. The Prime Minister stated the money spent amounts to 3,754,642,000,000 and 664,000 dinars, calling on the defendants against whom arrest warrants were issued to surrender themselves and hand over the stolen sums, and work will be done with the judiciary to assist them in accordance with the law. In conclusion, Al-Sudani asked the Director General of the bank to receive the refund amount from the tax secretariats. That's pretty cool. Frank 26 noted because the USD is being eliminated and depegged by the IQD, listen to this, almost half of Iraq's financial surplus has been transferred to U.S. bonds. Is there a benefit for Baghdad? That's a question. Iraq continues to increase its holdings of U.S. bonds at a time when it is witnessing huge numbers of oil revenues as a result of the rise in oil prices, as not a month has passed without Iraq buying the U.S. bonds at a value of approximately $1.6 billion per month. The U.S. Treasury said in its latest table, Iraq rose 2 ranks to rank 32 among the countries with the largest holders of U.S. Treasury bonds of 38 countries listed in the table for countries with possession of more than $32 billion. She added Iraq's possession of these bonds amounted to $36.9 billion for the month of September, up by 3.65% from August of 2022 and up 105% from the same month of last year, 2021. She pointed out that Iraq was the 4th largest Arab country after Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and the UAE, while Japan came in at the top of the countries with the largest possession of these bonds, followed by China, second, and the United Kingdom third, noting that the total bonds of the countries of the world amounted to $7,296 billion. And Iraq buys these bonds as a result of achieving a monthly financial surplus, which has a comparison between its expenses and revenues. Speaking of the financial surplus achieved in the current year, 2022, Iraq's possession of U.S. bonds in the last month of the last year, December, amounted to $22.5 billion. During the 9 months of this year until September, Iraq's possession of U.S. bonds amounted to 36.9. I'm going to skip through some of this. Looking at the accounts, Iraq's total revenues during the 9 months of the year amounted to more than 122 trillion dinars, more than $84 billion, while its expenditures were about 79 trillion dinars, more than $53 billion. Thus, the surplus achieved by Iraq amounts to $31 billion in 9 months, and during these same 9 months, Iraq bought U.S. bonds with $14.4 billion of the achieved financial surplus, which means that more than 46% of Iraq's financial surplus turned into U.S. bonds. That's good, showing the relationship between us and Iraq, which is good for the RV, right? The average price of a ton of gold globally during the current year is approximately $50 million, which means that Iraq bought gold at $1.7 billion, in addition to bonds at $14.4 billion, meaning that it bought bonds and gold at more than $16 billion, and with this, it has converted more than 50% of its financial surplus achieved so far into gold and U.S. bonds. All good news, guys. The central bank is approaching the end of November with a 50% drop in its sales, and there are 3 reasons behind the drop. Okay, I'm not going to go through all the data because you don't need to know that as far as what's looking good for this timing of this RV. That's more, I would be interested in it because I'm a financial person, but you may not be. I'm looking through here. The Central Bank of Iraq is working to automate banking business according to the best banking standards, including the establishment of an electronic platform that organizes the external transfer process through the foreign currency sale window. Because the auctions are no longer corrupt, according to Frank 26. That's good. That means they're cleaning things up, guys. Al-Sudani stresses the need to complete the draft budget law as quickly as possible. And they're moving forward with that. So, KTFA family, I say to you, the 5th, the 9th, the 1st. The 5th, the 9th, the 1st. That's Frank 26. So, a lot has happened, guys. Let's see. RV already, TNT. I hold out some hope that the CBI promised the IMF to RV by November 30th. We will see if that holds up. This is Sandy Ingram. Iraq's government serious in pursuing true partnership with Kuwait. We know when the Iraqi dinar revalues, floats, or does whatever it is that they plan to do what we as American citizens and other citizens of different parts of the world may not be able to go directly into Iraq to exchange its currency. Therefore, we always support news when it comes to Iraq pursuing partnerships and relationships with its neighbors, because we certainly can fly into Kuwait and exchange dinars if allowed to. Pimpy. Pimpy runs negative. He's quoting from an article. The Ministries of Finance and Planning are serious about completing writing the draft budget for 2023. We believe that it will send it to the House of Representatives early next year. So Pimpy says, so no budget for 2022, and they're hoping to get the draft before the beginning of next year, which means you're probably looking at the first and second month of 23 without a budget. That doesn't mean anything, guys. Remember, there's a lot of disinformation prior to a release of something like this because they legally can't tell you when they're going to do it. So you have to look at what they're doing. Sampson, parliamentary finance, job grades, and confirmation of contracts in the 2023 budget. Quote, the Parliamentary Finance Committee expected on Saturday to pass the draft federal budget law for the year 2023 in the month of February. And then boots on the ground. Firefly, as of today, the CBI can't show their hand because, no, that's just what I just said. The CBI cannot show their hand because of things like insider trading laws would prevent this. But we believe our paths are going to get brighter and brighter. Amen. Frank says they know to ignore the framework and the false media. They know what Sudani is doing for them. And the governor of the CBI, they know the CBI is trying to keep a low profile. The exchange rate change will not be discussed until the government opens the budget. Even once they seat the government, will not be discussed until they open the budget. Question, are you under an NDA? That is a tool of exaggeration. There are no documents that anybody signed to keep their mouth shut because everybody is talking about this. Everybody knows what's going on and it's no secret. Everybody knows it. That's a funny thing to end on. So, guys, it's looking good. Mark Z said it's looking good for Wednesday. The other guy said the 5th, the 9th, and the 1st. So, who knows? The 5th is not too far away, right? It's like 7 days away. So, a lot can happen in 7 days. God created the whole moon, stars, earth, and man and woman in 7 days. And then he rested. So, guys, rest before the restoration. Mark is saying Wednesday something could happen. So keep your prayers up there for as soon as possible, right? I know there's a lot of people out there struggling. More and more people are getting laid off. More and more companies are closing. I just saw a post of that. But let me tell you now the miracle sign, which is why I think God is saying the time is now. I was on Facebook just checking some things, and I kept going down and down and down. And my friend Robin had posted something 7 hours ago. 7 is my favorite number. 7 hours ago, she had just walked out of the gym, and she had a video of a perfect rainbow. Guys, that is a sign of God's promise. He's always spoken to me through rainbows. So take it as your sign. This is a good sign. God bless you. Have a great Monday. This is good news. Please celebrate tonight with your loved ones. I'm celebrating with my husband. My hair is going to be down. It's going to be fun. Talk to you later. Bye. And I'll see you tomorrow on the live. If you have any questions about any of this information, always join me on my lives. If you can't find it on my channel, it's under the live tab. I don't know why they organize it that way. I don't just talk about dinar and RV stuff. I also talk about faith, financial ninja. I offer a home-based business opportunity. Let me know if you're interested in anything. I'll give you links down below. God bless.